Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Back to the Past. I am Blair, and today I'm in Colorado, trying to do a little bit of work here that will actually be done for my place in Arkansas. I have tested the water quality from my spring, and it is very good drinkable water most of the year. There are a couple, 3, maybe 4 weeks a year where the turbidity will be kind of high if we have just outrageous downpours that last for several days. 2 years ago it was in May, last year it was in April, this year it was in January that we had probably over 10 inches in a week fall. And what that does is that disturbs the surface water, gets to running a lot of silt and such, and that runs into my spring and kind of muddies the spring. I'm hoping to be able to take care of that, and what I'm doing is what I will put in my 5-foot diameter spring is this 1-foot diameter pipe. I'm cutting perforations in it. I'll set that into the spring hole, and then inside of this I'll put a 4-inch diameter perforated pipe, and I will fill around the two of them with a combination of activated charcoal and pea gravel. I'll bring that up, and then that will run in the water line from the spring up to the living quarters in the barn, and should give me pretty good water year round. Now, even when I have the high turbidity, I still have acceptable water, but even through filtration it's hard to get some of the discoloration out of the water, and it doesn't look right, even though it's probably okay. So I'm hoping that this helps with it. And then I'll also be going to a 3-stage water filter in the barn too, so that should make my water drinkable year round. At least that's what I'm hoping. For now, I am ready to go ahead and cut one more row of perforations. I've got a total of about 200 perforations in this pipe. My spring's around 6 feet deep. This pipe's about 7 feet long. I've got a feeling there is some silt in the bottom of my spring. It's maybe never been cleaned out since it was developed way back in the 1800s. So I suspect I can get in there, pump it out, and be able to maybe make it another foot or two deeper. That I probably won't end up doing till November, so that's a couple months away. I'll do it then, but I want to be as ready as I can to be able to move things down and have that ready to go when I get there. Here we go, cutting another row of perforations. All right, well, I now have my water line and electrical line in the ground all the way from the barn up the hill there down into the Springhouse where I will pump my water from. Good morning from the Ozarks. This morning I am going to be working on developing the Springhouse here. I've been using the water for watering, and I've been filtering it actually for some drinking too. But the one thing that there is there's a bunch of silt in the bottom of it. And like any sort of reservoir, they'll silt in over time if they are being fed naturally, and especially if there's flow underground. So there is some bottom muck in here, mud, silt, that I'm going to end up trying to pump out with my 2-inch trash pump.
So I've got a suction line run up to about the doorway there and a piece of PVC pipe about 7 feet long attached to the end of that. And what I'll do is I'll jab it down into that softer, muddy area and then eject it out onto the lawn area back here and around the trees and such, and be able to get rid of the mud that way. After that, my goal will be to get in this green pipe that you see right below me here. I've got it perforated. That will end up having a 4-inch diameter pipe inside of it and then filled with charcoal and gravel around that. So I'm not going to be able to show you a lot while I'm working in there because I'll knock the camera over. I won't be able to really record what's going on in there. But we'll go take a closer look at it in just a minute here. Okay, on the outside here you can see that I've got water line and electrical line laid into the building. And we'll walk around front and take a look inside. Here is the suction line I was talking about, kind of dark in there. I'll try to get close enough that the light will adjust. And you can see my water line coming through the wall just down here. And that's where I'll be setting this pipe vertically here after I'm all finished. Right now it's about 5.5 feet deep. I have no idea how much silt is in there. I have no idea what the original depth of this Springhouse is, but I'll be finding out. I'm probably going to have to do this over several days because this suction pump would suck this thing dry in probably 10 minutes. So I'll work on it a little bit, then I may have to let it recover overnight or let it recover until this afternoon. I'm not sure what my inflow is right now. It's slowed down some since we haven't had a whole lot of rain in the past 2 weeks. All right, this is turning into a bigger job than I thought it might, and the main reason is that there's so much trash in the bottom of this. When I first purchased the property, the building above didn't look anything like it does now. It had a caved-in roof, and you're seeing some of the roof boards down there. I've had nails stuck in my pump, chunks of wood stuck in my pump, some rocks stuck in my pump. And it appears that because of the silt, that a good part of my water must be coming in from I guess it would be the east side. There is some that I can visibly see coming in from the north side too, but it looks like because of the silt, I would guess that over time most of it is coming in from the east. You can see the pump that I've got set up there in front. That's a 110 volt pump that runs water up to the cabin. And then down there is a 12 volt well pump that I've been using, and I hope to be able to continue using. So far I've just used it for watering the garden and such, but since I've got that 1-inch pipe put in now, I'm hoping to be able to use it up at the barn. That may or may not happen. The next step is for me to get down there with probably a pair of hip waders. It's going to take, that looks pretty darn soft, and see if I can at least get the trash and rocks and such out of there to where when the water level comes up tomorrow, I can get in there and try to pump out some of that muck again. Okay, so this is what it looks like in here today. The 1-inch pipe, I added a union to the end of that in case I want to pull the pump. The pump ended up not fitting in a 4-inch pipe, so I went with a 6-inch pipe that I perforated here. And the water level in here will typically vary, well, maybe as much as a foot in late summer. Right now Gabby's taking a look too. Here, lay down, Gabby. It'll vary as much as a foot, but right now it's just about at the level I wanted. I actually ideally would like to have it maybe about 2 or 3 inches lower. Now our rain patterns have really changed, so I went ahead and put in an overflow line, a 2-inch overflow pipe, and that's where it's coming into the pipe there, and then it goes out into the small pond. There's a 4-inch pipe on that side
that is essentially a French drain for most of my grassy field. Something I've actually been concerned about is the ability of my grass to grow. We've had so much rain now. Gosh, we're over 16 inches since the 25th of March. Today is May 5th, and the water just won't stop coming down the hillside there. I thought maybe my grass would die because it's not getting enough air, but it's actually doing pretty well. Now, up on this end, my filtration is actually 4 stages. One is a very coarse particle collection, and then I have 2 5-micron charcoal activated filters, and then I've got one particle filter that filters down to 1 micron right on this hand, and then a UV filter over the top of it. I've tested my water, and it's actually very high quality water. I will end this episode here on a rather dreary day. You can see the water flowing down the hill somewhat here, but it has been even worse than that. I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for being with me.